Okay, everybody, happy 2026 Awestruck Comics podcast. We were trying to kind of build out. Everyone's doing their year-end list, everyone's doing their top 10s, top 20, blah blah blah. We kind of wanted to do something a little bit different. We celebrate all the forms, graphic novels, comics, strips,
Yeah.
archives. So we kind of wanted to do an underappreciated, but then we
And then
do
I
have
said,
ones that we
that are overappreciated.
right
So we're just going to call it the over
deservedly,
under.
yeah, deservedly so.
They're deservedly overappreciated.
Correct.
So
So
it's funny when you brought this up to me, you're like, oh, I want to do a top 10. I'm like, no, I don't.
right.
But then I'm like, we do our own spin on it. And you're like, well, I'm going to go for more like under looked at books. And I'm like, well, I'll just go with what we've been talking about all year. Maybe we'll have something new to talk about it. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think the cool thing with the show is that, as strangely we made the joke that we would start the show based on these are our conversations in the car while we're driving around. You're working, I'm probably driving somewhere. But now we barely talk all week. Could we just like leave it for the show? You know what I mean? But I feel like our conversations get into more because of the show. I feel like I'm getting deeper into different pieces of the collecting and archive world, which I really, really like. So yeah, really fun, real inspiring. But this kind of is fitting. I'm going to put your first book at the top, mainly because this was a big thing this year. This was the interview we did this year, the
Right.
interview, which
The interview we did.
yeah,
Our
the
first, not our last,
hopefully
but
not
it's
the
definitely our
last, yeah.
first.
But that was a really fun. I don't know, it was an hour and a half with Tom Scioli, who was
Yeah.
promoting his
He
space
was
opera Xanadax.
very generous with his time.
I went through
Uh,
the entire chronology of like his work because I was an insane person.
yes.
But that's
And
fine.
that's fine. You were anxious about it.
Yep.
But like I had been talking with Tom Scioli for so long, I was kind of calm, nervous to do an interview because like now everyone's got to hear my conversations with Tom.
Hmm. Right.
But I think it came off pretty good still.
Yeah, it was funny. It was like it's funny at the end because you have like a spurt of like a bunch of questions too. I'm like, yo, I think we got to end the show. He's like, I gotta go. So, but this was really fun. Like this is kind of a combination of a bunch of his projects together. I feel like it's a really hefty graphic novel too. It's $20, really heavy. It also
Yeah,
collected,
it's like 220 pages, something like that.
yeah, and then it had like this much of the book is Princess is like his extra free
Yeah,
book that he gave you, which
it's
I thought
extra
was
free
pretty
book.
cool.
He put it online a couple of years ago, and I don't know if he wanted to do more with it or not. See, Scioli's one of those people that like he just keeps getting more ideas. So it's like he has a plethora of books, which I have rough PDFs of. Like I have a rough PDF of this book that's pretty different, but there's pages that are identical. Super interesting.
Yeah,
So
to me it was like it was more of an exercise of just like it felt like a movie. It felt like storyboards. It felt like a really cool like 80s cartoon, like a TBS heavy metal, like late night, like I shouldn't be watching this type of thing, which I thought
and
was
it
pretty fun.
it moves. It moves at a fast
Yeah.
pace. Like you read his Kirby and Stan Lee books, and their biographies. They're text heavy. Their history. Everything's really important with that. This is just like, hey, here's the dude with laser claws, and he's got to escape, and it's a space opera.
Yeah, there's a little bit. There's a couple influences I didn't expect. I don't know. Recently, I got into Go Nagai because he did. I'm trying to remember what he did. Like kind of like a what is it? What's the marionette show? Is it Thunderbirds?
Thunderbirds
Yeah, there's another. Go
go.
Nagai did designs for that, but this like
There's another one
face
like Thunderbirds,
thing.
like go
There's a bunch of
something.
them. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've watched Space Giants, and there's a couple of them, but I watched one this year on YouTube. God, I can't remember what it was, but like this reminded me of some of that stuff, some of the Go Nagai, which I think in the 90s, 90s early 2000s, Glenn Danzig got it way into Go Nagai. I remember he reprinted like Devilman and like a bunch of stuff. There's some other influence I wasn't expecting. He also did a Godzilla book last year too, but yeah, this was just super hefty. This is a beautiful book. I was happy to see this in print. I've seen this in on his Substack. And I just think that the colors are everything on this. I think it's
Right.
really,
His
really neat.
not Substack,
Yeah, sorry.
Patreon.
Patreon. Yeah, sorry.
Patreon. Get it right,
Close.
because you want people. I want people to go to his Patreon. I want people to pick up this book. Half the reason we do
Patreon's
this
three
show,
bucks a month. Yeah, so just do it. Just
yeah,
do it.
just do it,
Do it.
and you'll get a plethora of other unpublished books,
Do it.
real books, books that are completely finished, and then that I just never, put out.
Yeah.
Books that will, yeah.
just really, really
Very cool.
fun. Yeah, but I do like what you're saying. Like you can go to go to his Patreon, see like the process pieces, and then like get into that, which I think is really, really fun. But yeah,
Yeah.
best interview, great interview. Super nice. We saw him at New York as well. He did pretty well.
Yeah.
This year I joined Global Comics. I know Walter Hackett, one of our buddies, he joined it a while back. Was mentioned to you. I went on it just to try it for a month or two, and I've kept it. I've kept it. It's a little. It's not exactly like the Netflix model of these digital comics are really difficult. How you group them, how the algorithm works, it's really hard. The DC app
Right.
seems to only be getting better. However, for whatever reason, when you go to the DC app and you read any book, at the end of that book, it usually gives you like smart recommendations. Every book right now just says, "Do you want to read these three absolute comics? Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman?" No, like I'm reading an old Legion of Superheroes. No, I don't want to read that. The new, like, you know what I mean? Like it's
No, no.
that's not
You
correct.
need to they need to correct their making they got to make an algorithm. Like it's the
Yeah.
problem with comics is it's small peas. It's small peanuts. It's these guys aren't getting residuals probably.
Hmm. Right.
It's like that's why the Netflix model is hard to work with comics
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
not making that much. Global's probably not making that much maybe money. Maybe Marvel is. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm not
know.
really sure of the like because there's a bunch of stuff that's on their gold membership, and then there's stuff that you can buy through that app. But it doesn't really say where you can get it after if it stays, blah blah blah. So, but this guy kind of showed up on my radar because the art was really weird. I've actually featured it as some of the art in some of our like graphics throughout. But this is a couple years ago, so even this 2025 list is kind of mixed because again, this was just more of it like this was a book he put out last year. So this is the team. I'm not sure, but I think they're Italian, Stefano Carticelli. But this is just completely. It just reminds me of a bunch of stuff. Bisley, Mobius. Like it just reminds me of Jamie Howlett, the Tank Girl Gorillas guy. So and this book I think I read when it came out. I actually have this book. I grabbed it, and it's just insane. There's a book I know we covered it a bit on the news, but he does some of his own stuff completely. Some of the stuff I believe is translated, but just
We did review a book of his, didn't we?
we reviewed this. We reviewed Long
Oh,
Cold
okay.
Winter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was good.
exactly. So, and yeah, this was the book that came out this year. And again, and this book here, this is where I basically, and there's another guy that he reminded me of. It was like Jackson Caldwell, I think, too, which is pretty really fun. Walt Warwick, Jackson Caldwell. He works with Magnola. But this artwork here, I used a few times in a bunch of our graphics and title sequences and stuff. But just the coloring reminds me of Laverne Kurtzinski, who works mainly
Hmm.
with P. Greg Russell and worked with Bisley on some of that stuff too.
Right.
Giffen on
Giffen on
Infanticide. This is the book.
and Trencher.
Yeah, Trencher and all his Atomica stuff. This is the book that's coming out next year, so I'm pretty excited for that. They all seem to have kind of a similar theme. All this like really dystopian, dirty. There's
Yeah,
robots. There maybe
it's all
people
very
might be in
like
there.
2000 AD ish.
Yeah. But then his like just kind of concepts of like here's New York, and I know we covered this in one of our news segments. So yeah, pretty excited. That is coming soon, coming soon. Yeah, look at that. All right.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
let me jump back over to this year was the end,
The
the
end
end.
of Copra. Issue 50 of Copra. He spent, I don't know, 10 years putting this book out, amongst doing other books like G.I. Joe and Bloodstrike, Brutalist.
Brutalists. Hmm.
Sad to see it end, but excited to see wherever he goes next. Michel Fiffe is a super nice guy. We talked to him in New York. He was very excited to, as you can see behind me, I put up the Maniacs promo card, which I've been giving out to people to help launch the Kickstarter this year. This is the big 2026 for me is doing Maniacs.
Hmm.
So Michel Fiffe was very excited. Like he's like, I'm gonna buy a copy from you. I'm like, no, I'll just send you a copy. He's like, no, I'm buying a copy from you. I'm like, that's awesome. Like
Yeah,
anyone else would
he's a
give
funny
me a
guy
comic, I would
in
take it.
that because
Yeah.
he went to Image. He had Bergen Street Press, which I believe is himself, right? Is
No,
that
no,
sound right?
it was a
Or is
comic
that a real
store or
place?
something. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
And they were only interested in doing trades of his stuff. So
right, and that's what I have. The
he
round 1 through 5, I have the Bergen Street Press editions
okay.
for the first handful. Yeah,
I mean, he's very, in on it and, paper. And that's the other thing. This year has really been a big paper. Like I've always been into paper comics, but this year it's been like amped. It's been upped, as we
it's
like
been
to
up
say.
it. It's been up it.
So
Um,
yeah, any of Cobra, it was good. Bittersweet, but we're excited. I'm happy I'm happy he fulfilled his pledge to finish his book. And I'm
yeah,
happy he gave us issue 50 because it almost ended at 49. We're like, no, you're not ending it at 49.
right, right, right. I know he put a process book out this year, and I know that he just put out the second video of Keith Giffen's chronology, which I think is an
He's
insane project, and I'm jealous of that. I love that format of just like I'm going through every book he did and just talking about it, which I think is really, really, really crazy. That's really crazy, really fun. Yeah, so I think the second part comes out. It just came out, which is on his YouTube, and it's like 2 hours. The first one's like 2 hours of his early work from like Marvel magazines and backups and like Weird War Tales and stuff like that, and then it floated over to um now he's in the GIF. Now he's in like the GIF and F post defenders like GIF and like Legion stuff. You probably love this. This came out I think a year or two ago, but I grabbed it in a dollar bin. Packlist Zero, which is a wonderful. This is Dustin Weaver just kind of just stuff falling out of his head. This feels very much like almost like a 2000 AD situation. I believe one of the books in this I saw digital on. I thought it was new. They took apart his pack list like 1 to 6, and one of the stories in there they put it out as a graphic novel. I'm not sure if it went to print or if it's just online like that. That's what it was at Global. So it was kind of cool to catch up this with Global again. Um, but literally, it's like a 50-page book. There's a bunch of stories in it. All the art is like so. You have your first art here which is almost like you know, almost like a mouse type of situation here. But
right,
then it goes to this like J. Scott Campbell, like Jim Lee style for this,
right.
then goes to like a more heavier Jim Lee style. And I think you said this is Tech Wolves Warrior Operatives Living Veiled Existences. He was supposed to do a Wildcats book, is that
This was
right?
his Wildcats pitch
Oh wow, okay.
during the post, like Sean Phillips era,
Okay.
and it didn't get picked up, so he just changed it to Tech Wolves, which is pretty great.
Well, it's funny. We just talked about FIFA. FIFA's whole concept of that was like a Suicide Squad homage, which became Cobra. Um,
Yes,
so this is kind of funny that yeah, just turn in your own thing. There's your Warblade. But yeah, this is basically Jim Lee, Silvestri, Travis Charest, and then this is another again more of a European book, like more of like a
this is a uh, Techno Priest. What's Techno Priest lead into? Like that type of style.
right, right, yeah, that's pretty dope.
Meta
So
Barons. It's like a Meta Barons.
yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, so they like anti-humanoids stuff.
Hmm.
So I would say this is kind of overappreciated, but I do agree with it, meaning that like, Daniel Warren Johnson came from a bunch of like his own projects. I remember giving Murder Falcon to my brother because I'm like, this is insane. This art's crazy. The story is crazy. I think you'd really enjoy it and kind of helped him get back into collecting comics. Um, but yeah, this book just kind of kept going. We were nervous that it would flip to Jorge Corona after 5 or 6 issues. Didn't
Right.
matter. It really didn't matter. If
No,
anything,
it's
because again, if you
not.
look at this is Daniel Warren Johnson, and then this next is Jorge Corona. Okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's
this was
it's
probably one of my favorite pages of the whole first 24 issues because I love Ultra Magnus. This looks just bad as hell. This is the Cable moment. This is like here I am, big dude, big
oh
gun.
yeah.
You know,
No, that's right. Yeah. No, I think I agree with that. Yeah, I mean I think the biggest thing with this book is that it really kept a lot of its humanity. I want to read it all together. Would like to read. I think the first two big collection hardcovers. When that second one comes out, maybe I'll grab them at that point. They have nice oversized hardcovers, which has just the A covers in it. Again, Kirkman's bad at putting covers
I
in.
know.
In
Yeah,
trades, there's no covers, right? Or just A covers in the regular trades. I don't think
yeah.
there's a cover.
I don't think. Yeah, I think there's a cover. There's a single cover, and then that's it. Then it's just balls to the wall. Here's 6 issues,
God,
and
yeah,
I hate that.
I hate
I hate that.
it. I hate it.
Give me the A cover as a chapter break, and then give me a gallery in the back.
Now, I'll admit, when this ended, basically you get 24 issues. When it ended, I got through halfway through 25, and I'm just waiting until the six Dan Moras together. I'm waiting because this year was a weird year for books that started with one creative team slash, and then went away. Meaning the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had this build, Juan Ferreira, and then I don't know if it was always the intention of Jason Aaron to leave. It didn't seem that way, and then he's gone. So that bummed me out. I like again, I haven't read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 13, even though I heard it's pretty
I
good.
didn't read number 12 yet. It's like almost like I'm holding off. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know
exactly.
why.
I get that,
I've been busy. Since
but
we stopped reviewing comics, my backlog of comics has increased.
yeah, everything's tough. You have a tough job. Christmas time, your peak season, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, the exit of this, I feel like they should have. I feel like Skybound fucked up. They should have not let Corona be open in free market. Now, that being said, he just got all the DCKO variants. He just got all the whatever that new initiative they're doing. He's doing all variants for that as well. He got
Hmm.
Lobo, which is going to probably do pretty well for him, I would
Yeah.
think.
He needed to up his game so maybe he can come back and do his own thing.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a
I noticed
path.
some years ago. I talked about this, I think, before, where it was like number one with a bullet, and the story was fine. It came out through, I think, Mad Cave or Boom or something. But I'm like, what is this? I don't know what this is. And then he did Middle West with
Mark's like, I was into him
Gotti.
before he was cool.
I knew it. I
I
knew it.
had Bleach before I had Nevermind.
Bleach's demo, I hate. I still stand by it. Bleach doesn't feel right. That's not their first album, in my opinion. Anyway, I fight with that all the time. I play with it all the time. That being said, same thing with this guy. I knew this guy way back when. So Nick Klein, who Incredible Hulk, Daniel Warren Johnson is now Marvel exclusive. So that's pretty exciting. Maybe he'll be taking over
Maybe.
X-Men. Please. I'm curious. This book essentially, again, I guess Al Ewing switched this con like concept has just become more and more body horror, right? That was in Immortal. They kind of carried a bit through some of the Otley run, the Kate's Otley run,
Right, the Donny Cates run.
but ever since then, it's been to the point of that. That being said, their B and C artists are really good. Klein is the main artist. They have Kev Walker, who we always like, Adam Gorham, Jonas Scharf, and Danny Earl. So all of the additional artists here, like this is a Kev Walker, but I feel like a lot of this is just very Frankenstein. A lot of this is very,
Yeah. This was a good issue.
yeah, I like this issue quite because this just reminded me of Frankenstein. You're like this guy, like at any time, Hulk's going to just murder this kid. Like that's the way it always feels like whenever you see the Frankenstein stuff. Now, the other thing too with how he works on things, how he's a big mythology person. Phil Kennedy Johnson. Oh, three names again.
Three
Phil
names
Kennedy
again.
Johnson. But he this reminds me a lot of Hellboy because there's just like here's a fable of this. Here's this as a concept of this I'm taking this from, and now it's in this story. This book feels kind of completely on its own to the point where I think Marvel is so weird that they can't handle having a Hulk book just be like this, that they need books for people walking in. So there's what the heck's the new Hulk book called? It's nothing. It's like a nothing book. It's like Smashing Hulk or
Oh,
something like that.
oh yeah, the Ryan North book that no
Yeah,
one's.
it's just like, hey, if you walk into we need to have a Hulk book available. And I'm like, you can't even get a Hulk movie made. You know what I'm saying? Like without it being mixed in. Hulk's in the fucking Spider-Man movie coming up. What are you talking about? Stop. Like just no. I saw someone online do like a complete take apart of completely hates Marvel Hulk, which again, we never got like Marvel like Hulk. Because what was it? Is that an Endgame or not? It was Infinity War where he's running and that shit
Yes.
isn't even in. It's in the trailer.
Nope, it's
And
in the
then
trailer.
he's in his like Hulkbuster armor. He's like, I can't get out of my Hulkbuster armor because I'm a pussy. I'm like, awesome, great. And then
That
you
was
just
weak.
skip over, and then he just becomes fucking Smart Hulk in between movies. God damn it. Anyway, not too mad about it.
No, no, no. It sucks because we were so into the lore of everything Hulk, Dumb Hulk, Gray Hulk, Mr. Fix It, Professor Hulk, Smart Hulk combined.
It's
Like
hundreds
you,
of issues old. It started
yeah.
with
This
Mantlo.
issue is literally 809. You have 809 issues of the Incredible Hulk,
Yeah, it's in the
and you're giving us
200s that Mantlo
nothing.
is doing the monster storyline. Like that became its own Barry Windsor Smith hardcover.
Yeah.
Years later, basically, is a Frankenstein slash Hulk book. But just really really cool. I don't know exactly. I like his little corner of the universe that he gets to do. You know, I'm actually going to go into the next one because it is still related, but also this is on the Marvel app as well. Subscribe Marvel DC app. Best app right now really is
DC?
the DC app. Yeah,
Yeah.
the DC app's
Yeah,
better for
they
me.
surpassed Marvel.
Yeah.
I used to like Marvel. No, I never liked Marvel better, but there was something Marvel did that I liked, but DC's just as overall.
Whenever they resorted it, it's the search function is worse now. It's impossible to search. It's
You know what it
impossible.
was with Marvel? The fucking semicolons. It's like some titles would have semicolons, some
Oh
would have
yeah.
spaces, some would have like a period or a comma, and the alphabetical order was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's hard because like right. It's hard sometimes when I'm sorting stuff on how I put it in my collection too. So I get that. And where's the end go? Where's the annuals go?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Sometimes yeah. The annuals sometimes were like before, or they take them out. Just no, just put them in the run.
right.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah, so
Ugh.
this was a cool 5 issue miniseries. This basically the Ghost Rider I think was in one of the Hulk issues.
Yeah, he introduced them in a Hulk,
Yeah,
and
so
they,
this
which
is
is smart.
yeah, this is
Body
Adam
horror, more
Gorham
body
art,
horror.
Jonas Scharf covers. But this was just a super fun mini. But it just had yeah, it had young Bucky who was on the back of like Ghost Rider's motorcycle. You had a new Sorcerer Supreme. You had Wolverine show up. Nick Fury's there. Like it was just a big, real crazy mashup and super violent. I don't know. And again, there's not a parental advisor or anything like this on this, but it was just like super violent. So really insane, but like a ton of fun. Here's kind of the story of the year is that basically the Skinbreaker was a 48 page graphic novel that Kirkman was working on and asked
Right,
editors
right.
to start it. Then it became 72 pages. Then it became like 5 issues. Now it's 8 issues, and now it's taken like 10 years. Um, I do have the Treasury editions, which I think are pretty fun. Paper quality, that again, it's a big paper year. Paper on that's been a lot of fun. But this book's
Yeah,
just incredible. This
you
book's
showed
just
me
incredible.
your treasury size version of that. We were driving down to Baltimore to meet him,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This is amazing. I love this paper because it's deluxe newsprint, is what Kirkman calls it, and it's the same paper they use in the compendiums. Maybe probably a little thicker than a compendium paper, but
Mhm.
still, I'm surprised at like the quality of it, and it holds the colors pretty good. I know typical newsprint always like smudge it, and maybe the colors come out a touch darker, but not enough.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that it just you're right, and I kind of can't wait to get all of them and just sit and read them all, and then maybe they're going to put out a nice big hardcover of it, and
yeah, but that'll be
um,
on glossy stock.
it depends. I don't know. There's a new stock now that I know that they're working with. That I don't know if they do that stock. I'm not. I don't know. However they want to do it, I'm probably going to buy it a couple times. I feel like this is a book that I buy multiple times. There's a couple books that I feel like I'm with that. I have like DC New Frontier like 3 or 4 times. I have Watchmen like 5 times. I have Ronin
Yeah,
twice. You know what I
I
mean? Like
s-
I have it a bunch of different
it's
times.
funny because I always had the Watchmen original graffiti design slipcase hardcover edition.
Oh, right.
I mean, I had
Okay.
the trade, and then I sold the trade, and then I got the absolute, and then I'm like, I'll sell the absolute. Like to me, the
Absolute.
absolute was like,
The Absolute. They have no color. Mm, they have no digital Absolute colors anywhere. So that was a refinished coloring. The coloring on that is like a more mature coloring is what he would have done if he had that palette,
right.
John Higgins,
Is,
but
isn't that what's on the DC app?
the original coloring.
Oh,
They
I
everyone
do.
reverted. Everyone
Okay.
everyone reverted. So like when new coloring process happened, they put Absolute Watchmen. They went into this like this is the coloring it always should have been. And then
Well,
everyone's like, well, I'm nostalgic for this garish coloring. Same thing with Brian Bolland. They put out like Killing Joke. Well, when they put out Killing Joke, then they put out like a new version of Killing Joke. It's all gray.
the
It's
good
all
news is,
Brian Bolland.
when they had a sale on a Comixology,
Mhm.
I went and bought the Watchmen Absolute on Comixology, and that has the new
Oh,
colors. So I do have the
oh,
new
good.
colors there, but and I think the Killing Joke too. Whenever anything would go on sale, like I hated buying stuff on Comixology,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
would always wait for the sale. Then I'm like, boom, get it, boom. Battle Chasers Absolute $5, boom. Every Image comic 99 cents, boom, boom. I got the whole Dragon run, 99
yeah.
cents, boom, 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 boom. Now Comixology just like sucks.
Yeah, it's just that when it got folded into Kindle, it's not a good situation. So
No, no, you gotta get the Kindle app for my iPad. Nah, no thanks. I'll just stick with the Marvel DC apps and my PDFs that I downloaded from. So that's the thing. You had a choice back in the day of Comixology. Like for instance, Liefeld put out the Joe Casey, Derek Donovan stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, I was buying the paper too, but as soon as the sale hit, you know what happened? When Amazon bought Comixology and they took it off the Apple Store, they're like, here's $10 worth of, free money because you're no longer on the Apple Store because they want to save that 30%. So that's when I bought the Derek Donovan, Joe Casey Youngblood run,
Mm.
which has still never been put back up.
Right, right, right. Yeah, it's really. I mean, I'm hoping that now that Youngblood's back, which we'll get to that in a bit. Um, a quick intermission. Are you reading anything retro? Are you reading anything that you're just a blind spot for you this year?
I started, I'm always reading Superman stuff,
Mm.
whether it's the 60s, 40s, 30s. I feel like I've read everything, but I'm just not quite positive. It's like I want to do a reread. But other than that, I started reading Legion from the 60s up. Like I want to read
Mm.
the entire Legion run.
Right, right. So you're reading it from
Adventure
Shooter?
comics from like Superboy up.
Okay.
60s, straight up to, first appearance in Superboy
Yeah,
in
it's
Adventure
weird because
Comics, I
I
think.
because I went in and started reading like from Shooter Cockrum to Grell to James Sherman. I started reading that. And it's good on the DC app panel to panel. I'm reading the old Wonder Womans, which is really weird because the first 8 to 10 issues they've remastered recently in hardcovers and stuff, right? Once you get to issue 11 or 12, the DC app unfortunately literally has different microfiche that shouldn't be up. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be. And then when you go panel to panel,
Well,
it's also not as good because
That's not
that's
microfiche.
this one isn't, no, but it gets to it. It does. I didn't pull one of those. But
They're so blurry.
I'm kind of shocked. These aren't too bad. Uh,
No, no, that's
but
just like a
but
scan. That's just a scan of a
I
scan.
can't believe how much there's so much bondage in it's almost every issue. It's kind of unbelievable. I never saw that movie. They did a movie a couple years ago. It was called what was called William and His Women or something like that. It
Oh
was one.
yeah,
It
I
was
never watched
like
that.
yeah, it's William Morrison and about his like basically his wife who co-wrote and kind of helped co-create a lot of the concepts here. Also, William
Right.
Moulton Morrison created the lie detector, and he had a
Yes.
magic rope makes you tell the truth. Like it's just crazy. But he also had like a live-in like maid, which was like his extra wife and stuff. So yeah, I need to
It was
see that.
extra life to both of them, actually, from
Eh,
what I remember reading.
yeah, yeah. So I'm
They
interested
were
in seeing that.
they
But
were poly before it was cool.
what's crazy is that I got into this because when I was looking at the new Absolute Wonder Woman, which again, honorable mention, it's not in our stuff, but like a lot of the way that the faces and the construction was, the way that Hayden Sherman drew her face, I'm just reminded me of like as H.G. Peter, like this stuff. So I was like, I never read this stuff, and it's really fun, like panel to panel. I wish they would clean them up a little bit. I know that they have like a couple omnibuses out. They have the digital files, DC. You can just hire us, not a big deal.
Yeah.
We'll help break it apart. But yeah, that's been my retro. An issue or two. If I get that's been really really fun, and a lot of unfortunate, they don't have they should probably put up like, hey, these are some racist stuff here because they have a lot of Japanese racism through. This book we
Yikes.
haven't really talked about, but this is through Midnight Factory, this company here, Midnight Factory. I saw a couple of these covers online on Global Comics, and I'm just like, what is this? And I saw it in printed. It's cool. It's like basically it looks like it's a parchment, right?
Oh,
And
neat.
the style is almost like a half, like a bit of Jay Lee,
Jay
some
Lee,
some
yeah, for sure.
Bacalo. The guy who does Sick Tick, the William Deather, Delaware era, like the coloring's really really good. The production's really really good. And then they put out some digital trades. But I just love how stark this is. And just really good. I don't know who this is. I feel like that name is familiar. It's been in different things.
Yeah, I just kind
Um,
of forget, but you're right.
and I think Rich worked on this because I think Rich Woodall works for Midnight Factory somewhere, so
Oh,
I think that's your boy.
we do love Rich Woodall.
Ja boy. Ja
He
boy.
is.
Uh, yeah, so that's super fun. Not necessarily overexposed. My only issue, so here's the, Ryan Otley, Kirkman's Battle Beast from Through Skybound. My only issue with this book is I just really feel like the Invincible Presents is not really
It's a
like it's
bad
not
title.
adding anything to it.
No,
It's not
it
maybe
doesn't.
the capes, maybe you know what I mean? Maybe the capes to get some extra people buying capes, maybe, you know.
The Battle Beast numbers are so high, and I'm thankful because that means the higher the numbers, the more issues we're going to get.
Well, the gimmick
Capes.
that they did
I feel
for
like
number
Capes is.
one,
I feel like Capes is going to end after 6 issues. I feel it's like, oh, new ongoing series, and then I feel like
I think it'll get a go. It'll get a 12, I think. I
I
think it'll
hope
go a little bit longer than expected, you know. So, because I think that they already
that
have
it will.
what, six in the bank, and I think he might just be
Six,
paying him to keep going. Is it Englert? Um,
yeah.
but the whole thing with this, the whole thing with sorry, the whole thing with Battle Beast is um everything top to bottom, and is this the same colorist for this Alessandro Leone? Is the same colorist for Skinbreaker? I think it is.
I am not positive. Go back. Oh, no, I don't. I didn't put it. Whoops.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
Leone. Well,
Yeah.
Leone cover, so
Hey, I think that's right. I think that's right. But I think the biggest thing with this is this was the best version of the blind bag. Now I feel like this is like the Avatar, right? Avatar came out, it was 3D, great, and then a bunch of shit came out after. Now I think every blind bag that's coming out now is just shit. I feel like it's
it
just a
is.
gimmick. It's not good. The blind bag here was you can get a number one. I don't think they put. I think in the blind bag you never got an A cover. I don't think you ever got an A cover. I think you always got a B cover, a 1 in 5, a 1 in 10, a 1 in 25, a sketch cover, number
Right.
two, which is
Number
fucking
two,
crazy.
a foil
That's
version of
fucking
number two.
crazy.
You know what? You know what they didn't do? They did not do a foil version of number one. But you got a foil version number two. You got a foil version of his first appearance in Invincible 19.
Right,
Or you
right.
got a foil cover of Marvel Team Up, which
Yeah, a
blew our
reprint.
minds. We're like,
Yeah, yeah,
whoa,
yeah. Well, that was actually kind of a portent for what we think is, you know, as a relationship with Marvel again, basically, I
yes,
think.
he has a relationship with Marvel because Marvel wants something, and he's gonna get everything he can out of him before if he relents. So Kirkman to me, it's a good Kirkman year. Like it's a Scott Snyder
Mhm.
year. It's a Kirkman year because you still, in addition to these three books we just talked about. Do you talk about any other Kirkman books before I continue?
No.
Okay, so we've been really enjoying this GI Joe book. We've been enjoying the fact that he continued the Larry Hama GI Joe book. People love The Walking Dead, which we were getting consistent David Finch covers on his reprint colorization of the Walking Dead comic. You
Hmm.
know, he gave us the Treasury sized edition. His compendiums are now the staple of Image Comics and have been repeated by other comic companies. Not that we haven't had him before, but like he did him in such a way that has made it popular and made it very readable. I've always thought compendiums were atrocious to read, but like his seem readable. There's something about the production design.
Right, right. Yeah,
And we're about to get, we're moving forward. Not that we're talking about news, but like Invincible month is coming up in 2 months. New season of the show, bunch of new covers, more Marvel team up stuff. Like it's a great Kirkman year, and he has books done that we don't even know about. He has
right.
stuff just stacked away, just waiting to be done. So
Yeah. This is just a insane book. I mean, this is I think the coloring is really top notch on this. You know, the coloring. I think everything's just like ridiculously fun in this with everyone. Just there's just so much like blood and gore and really kind of gross stuff in it, but it's just Otley going like crazy. And I think Otley was going was doing some heavier stuff, pushing a little further when he was doing the end of his Hulk run, when that was somewhat unfortunately abandoned. You know what I mean? When Kate's got into a car accident, and then basically Otley had to just kind of finish the run out. And they could just kind of abandon the whole run. I feel like that's not. Yeah, I wish I knew a bit more about the behind the scenes of that, but that's just a bummer. Again, not great, but jumping over to some staples, you know, here's your Mike Mignola graphic. Now, I did finally finish this, like you said, you know, I kind of broke it
did you?
apart.
Oh,
It
good.
was it was daunting when it first came out because again, it's like 10 short stories inside of this, and for whatever reason, I wasn't in the right mood to just like plow through 10. The anthologies have to be in a certain mood for it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the way, you know, we consume stuff, like when Xanadax, like, you know, you had to have a certain day where you're like, I'm sitting down, I'm reading Xanadax like on X day. I got to
Right.
read this before I talk to him in New York. Let's
We.
do that.
I don't want to spoil anything, but there's other books. Maybe. Do you talk about Criminal at all during this show?
No, no, because I feel like
Criminal.
that's yeah,
You got to
you have
have
to
a
sit.
night or a day. You just sit. And I always
Right.
think to myself with Criminal, I'm going to read this all the way. I'm sorry, I'm going to read this in pieces. And I never do. Every time I sit down to read one of his books, Brubaker's books, I just read the whole thing.
Let's read the whole thing. Yeah,
Every
it
time.
is something. And the new one was like 200 pages. You know, Knives was excellent. Um, it just became it's just like I don't want to say that it's so consistent that it's not special, but it sounds like that's kind of what I mean. It's like, oh, you get the idea. Like if I give someone a book, if I give them a book this year and I give them a Reckless book from 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it would feel exactly the same.
What are
It's the
we
exact same. I think so.
what are we what are we getting right now? Another criminal book?
Uh, yeah, we're getting another criminal hardcover. It's like 150 pages.
And that's because we're getting the show this year. So they're
Yeah.
going to kind of line up together. And then hopefully he does. What do you want to see after the criminal book? I know we're talking another year and a
I want
half
them to go
from
back
now.
to
To
Reckless. I think
Reckless?
he said he does
Something
have a
new.
story with, I think the girl running the shop in Reckless. I feel like he has
Yeah.
another story with just her. So I don't know what you call that.
But he's got another story about her, not spoiling, about her.
Right. Right.
So,
So I don't know what they're gonna do. But
well, it's not a spoiler.
yeah.
It's not a spoiler. She dies at some point. So
Spoilers.
he's got that story. That's not that book. He mentions that in one of the comics, and you're like, oh, and I'm so sad she's dead, and we're like, what?
Right,
He
right,
says
right.
it better, but we're just like, no,
Right,
that
right, right.
sucks.
It doesn't really matter because again, like the way Reckless and the way that the criminal works is that it can just kind of pull from any the criminal one shot that came out this year took place 15 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like it can kind of be that's the way the Conan book kind of floats too, is that the Zub is going, you have a storyline and then you can go, 60, 50 years in the future. And then you go Conan's teenager. Like it's kind of crazy the way that it all
Yeah,
ends up being seamless. But it is something. I'm not sure how old Magnola is, but to just kind of decide
he's
that
got to be about between 60 and 70.
yeah, the thing that bugs me, I guess it's not even him. It's like the publishing initiative of Magnola, the way he's using all of his minis and stuff. They're all like ones and twos or threes, maybe. It's like just thinking about like future trade stuff, like how do you collect it? So that's been used to be a fiver. Used to be a fiver, you get a skinny one, three or
Mhm.
four, the BPRD model. And then after you get 4 or 5 of those, you do a omnibus or something like that.
When was the last time he did a library edition?
I don't know.
Has he ever collected a library edition again?
No, he did through hell, and that's it. Anything after that is all trade dress, is all regular size.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know how you would even, again, this is like Marvel Masterworks, I think were special at a certain point. They put out a Marvel Masterworks of Amazing Spider-Man last week, right? It's all the fine issues of Roger Stern, Ron Friend. They're all fine.
No,
They're
they're
not
actually
$75 worth though. It's not $75
no,
worth for
no.
10 comics.
No, those were $3, $4 books or 50-cent books when I first started collecting comics. Like
Yeah.
here I am buying McFarlane and Larson new, and I'm
Yeah.
discovering I like Roger Stern's Amazing Spider-Man run.
I know, but it's like to me it doesn't. And I remember thinking I remember thinking that a long time ago. I was like, man, when they get, would I ever have a McFarlane Marvel Masterworks and when I'm old? And now I'm old, and they're almost there. They'll be there soon. You know what I mean? But again, we already have
But
different
but why
collections
would
for
you?
that.
Yeah, why would you want that when you can have an oversized?
Yeah, I can't have a
You know,
volume 32. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where I think like the DC initiative of the way, and even the way this isn't this is this Curious Objects line. This is just may or may not be in the Hellboy universe. Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
These are all little fables. But
But you enjoyed
just
yourself reading it.
I did, yeah, and it's kind of crazy that like because you can have something as like kind of playful as this, which reminds me of like Pancakes and his like kind of like kiddier style, and then he does like his Hell style, like his Hellboy and Hell style here. Later on, there's more of this reminds me of like his earlier work, like what was it, the Island, where the Island like just really. So I just think that is another master to kind of go into my next pick here is this is an annual book through Kickstarter basically, and then Dark Horse does a reprint on them. I don't
Right.
know if
I
you read
didn't.
this yet.
No,
I
I did
only
not read
skimmed
this
this. I
yet.
haven't I haven't sat down. I
Oh,
wanted to read around Christmas time, but yeah, this
you're
has
funny.
our boy Jose Villarrubia. This is book 2. I think there's 4, if I have that right. There's
I
4
think I think you're correct.
Dracula, Matt Wagner, Kelly Jones graphic novels, and I do think it's really cool that these are old guys, and I guess he doesn't. This is all he has to do. Kelly Jones might do a cover here and there, but pretty much this last year he's been doing nothing else but this, uh, and just kind of pulling a couple different pages of this. The coloring's insane.
Oh, look at that pose, dude. That's
His
so creepy.
embellishing is a bit different. He's using it's. I think he's drawing on bigger boards. It's a magazine size feel. Like it's a larger. It's a bit larger. So awesome. Just really, really good. So yeah, I kind of can't wait to read that. But again, that's really special because I'm just a giant Matt Wagner fan for years, and I think that what he's doing with his Grendel new he's doing like a new trilogy of Grendel Prime. He had that one Devil's like Crucible, which was like setting him up out in space again. And now there's like three more series happening over the next like 5 years, I think. Which again, I know it's a big blind spot. Work on that in 2026, Rob. Work on that, please. I don't know what this is. Is this a
This is Impossible Jones
yeah?
by Carl Kiesel, and
Where are you
David
getting this?
Hahn.
Indie Planet?
This is a Kickstarter. It's a
Mm.
Kickstarter. I will gladly share it with you. I only get the digital copies. It's a fun book. She is a a thief who gets superpowers, and then everyone thinks she's a hero, but she's still a thief at heart. Um, it's fun. It's a little wonky. It's serious. There's a lot of tropes. Like this is a like the villain here is this girl Holly Days, which is kind of like a Harlequin, but she's all about Christmas.
Hmm.
There's just a bunch of really fun characters.
I like that
This is
costume
a
design. It's
it's
cool.
really it's Carl Kiesel's just really good at comics. He's really good at comics. And as you can see by the next picture, this latest hardcover has an incredible Art Adams
Hmm.
cover. So yeah, her
Yeah, this
powers are
is
kind of like plastic. They're kind of plastic Manny. But you can see
um
this latest collection is a bunch of her. He had a miniseries. Well, it's funny. He had a one shot which failed to launch. Kickstarter didn't do it. So he does a trade and it does pretty good. But then he gets an influx of money from King Shark from the Suicide Squad movie, which
hmm.
allows him to do a series of one shots, which end up doing better because the first trade's successful, and then this is the collection of those one shots.
That's crazy.
So
It's crazy like
yeah,
the way that money works is that like King Shark's just kind of a throwaway character in like Superboy 2, 3, something like that.
yeah. Well,
Eh, is that right? Yeah, that's right.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
and
I wouldn't
then
say throwaway, but yeah.
yeah, but
No, but
it was kind of a joke character. I feel like all like knockout and like that. I feel like he was just kind of just I'm just creating characters. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? It wasn't really why okay he's going to fight a shark guy. That's it. And then it just
yeah, why
becomes a
not?
thing later on. So again, I'm good. I'm good with it. Um,
So yeah,
is it what's the plans?
his
What's the future plans for this stuff? Is it still
he
just continuing?
he
Sorry.
put out like a Valentine special last year that I haven't got around to reading yet. He just put out a collection of the guy in the black and white suit. His name Even Steven. Kind of a not quite not he's even Steven. Everything always has to be even. So if he's fighting you,
Mr. A.
he can match your strength. If he's fighting
Ah,
Superman, well, all of a sudden he's like Superman level strength. But he's always fair. And the gag was in throughout the team up issues, every issue had a different origin where he was like, "Hey, Gail Simone, create an origin for him," and then he goes, "Hey, Mark
hmm.
Wade, create an origin for him." So hey, Kurt Busiek, create. So he just does all these different origins, and you don't know which one's real, and probably none of them are, which makes it fun. And he's doing a collection of that, I think, on Kickstarter. I think that might have ended. I don't know where you could buy these. You could probably just they're available somewhere. He does paper comics, he does hardcovers, trades, everything he can
Yeah, it might
because
be on
he's
Indie
just
Planet or Zoop. Yeah, might be on something.
neither one. I don't think either one of those. But
No,
yeah,
neither one of those.
Zoop
Neither one
because
of
Zoop
those.
is like a Kickstarter, right? That you don't have to.
No,
You don't.
yeah, but I
You
think that
don't
some
have
of it might be
to.
print on demand. I think Indie Planet's like print on demand too.
Indie Planet is 100% print on demand,
Right.
but I think he's just doing this himself through Kickstarter. So also, he's it's been forever delayed. He did a nice Section Zero collection with a new ending, which was great, and then he kickstarted a follow up called 1959 for Section Zero, and it hasn't come out yet. That's a Tom Grummett issue.
Tom Grummett. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's taken too much work the past couple of years and hasn't just committed to that. So I don't know if that'll be the end of Section Zero or not. Like once we get this next one, I don't know if we'll get a third one, which sucks because I really like Section Zero. Section
Yeah.
Zero, for those who don't know, was an Image comic put out when a bunch of writers tried to do their guerrilla comics. Mark
Gorilla.
Waid, Kurt
Yeah.
Busiek, Todd DeZago.
It was Empire.
Empire by Wade and Kitson.
Mm,
Shock Rocket by Kurt Busiek and Stuart Immonen. That's
yeah.
the main one that came out and finished.
Yeah, there was like
Uh,
a
te-
Superstar, I think, too, which is just a one shot. That was pretty good.
yeah,
That was
you're right.
Immonen.
Immonen early in that's pre Next Wave, pre Ultimate X Men. Immonen still good.
Yeah.
Todd DeZago and Mike Ringo did Telos, which is just a beautiful, beautiful book. That's
Yeah,
another
that's
one.
really good.
I got the digital absolute of that on Comixology for $5.
Yeah, I have singles of that. I ended up finding a run of that. I ended up got a whole run of that, including like the one half, or they had like a preview issue and
You're right.
got a
They had,
bunch of stuff.
yeah, he really worked his ass off to promote that book, and it's a shame it like he did finish his 9 issue run with Ringo,
Mm,
and then they did some follow up stuff, a couple miniseries and such. I think he's working on
Tales of.
something new.
Yeah. Yeah, we just see him every in Baltimore every year. So,
Super nice guy.
yeah.
Pretty good podcast. Not as good as this one.
Not as good as
JK.
this one.
Not as good as
Um,
this one.
so this year was kind of a resurgence of Dave Lapham. There was this book here, Under Heist, that came out. I think I told you a little bit about this. This is from Boom, was 5 issues. He's using a color. So I think this was Hillary Jenkins doing the coloring on this one. On the D Cunniffe is doing The Good Is Dead. This was a little interesting. This is a Skybound. Um, First off, I like that Lapham's getting like a bunch of work everywhere. He's doing work for Bad Ideas with the
Right.
end, Bad Idea Comics with the ends. They had some really nice hardcovers. Hard when we were in Baltimore looking at those hardcovers, like God damn it! Like years ago, I would have just like splurged on those hardcovers. They didn't really have a good sale on them, but we'll see. I don't know. I haven't read it. The bad idea stuff again, I think is a bad idea to not have any type of digital component to it.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult. But I am
We
collecting actively a few different bad idea books right now.
a lot of times you and I will start digital and then we're like, oh, I want this hardcover. Oh, I want this treasury
Yeah.
edition. I want this paper.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know.
Yeah. Like and that's just kind of the way the marketplace goes, and a lot of that has to do with just that the comic shops may not have them on shelf. They just don't. Everything is final order cutoff. Everything is that. But this was actually a concept. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a David Alpert worked on. Does he work on Walking Dead stuff? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think so.
But this concept was by someone else, and then they were basically contracted them to like adapt it. So Good as Dead is pretty, but it feels very close because all it has like a 6 to an 8 panel grid every book.
Hmm.
It feels just very much like a straight bullets, like new, but it's him flourishing other people's ideas, but it just still feels very grounded. Feels very much like that. It's really kind of sad. I don't know, and we never really figured out how the hell is he still doing comics? Like how is it possible that his revenue stream was strong enough over the last 20, 30 years? He never got into any type of we figured Straight Bulls was going to be a show on AMC. Like we kind of figured a bunch of stuff was going to happen.
Yeah.
Nothing ever happened. I don't even know if there was options that he could have lived on for a bit.
Maybe
I don't know. I
his
don't
wife
know.
has a decent job.
I don't know.
You know,
I don't
like
know.
maybe, sometimes like he's always been consistent. He's always made probably a good amount of money, but I never see him making a rich amount of money. You know what I mean?
But like this last year, he did, the ends for Bad Ideas. He's done Under Heist finished. He started Good as Dead.
Is he
He's
fast?
doing he's doing I think layouts for there was a new book that came out that he's doing layouts for. He's working on one of the EC books. He does all these shorts on these EC books with a few different creators. So his work is out there. He's definitely doing hundreds of pages annually now, where it was like nothing for a couple years. Um, so that's crazy. That's a crazy situation. So let's get
That is a
into your
crazy situation.
foil, your new obsession. A little
This
detour here.
is this is yeah, free comic book day. I always take my daughters to a couple local stores, and Alex's comic shop, the comic store in
The comic book store.
Glassboro, the comic book store, had a foil edition of Action Comics #1. This is actually a silver variant of that cover, but like this was in reach. And I was like, oh, I think I want that because I'm such a Superman fan. I love a foil cover for
Yeah.
Action Comics #1. And I got it, put it in my Golden Age bag and board. I'm like, oh, I like this, you know. And which has just put me down a rabbit hole of foil covers. So what's happened to me is for so many years now, I've been a digital collector, which
Mhm.
is fine. I don't have, I got a, decent sized house, but like I don't want a comic book room. I have an office. I'm like, let me have a small
Is there a
amount of stuff.
problem with the comic book room there, Rob?
Ye- You guys have no idea. Because
Well,
what
you're
people don't
very
understand
married.
is I used to have 150 long boxes of comics
That's
of
crazy.
red,
I
150,
remember
that's
the basement. I remember
the
the
basement. 100, I could have started a store. I could have started a store easily.
yeah.
In fact, that's more boxes than most stores have
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
by far. But that's also, I had Mad magazines, Cracked magazines, toys, Transformers. Just I had statues. Just it was an insane amount of collecting. And finally, I got to a point, and I'll be honest, the story probably started with like my dad passing. I'm just like, I go, we're stuck with all this crap. What are we going to do with it? And then I go, what am I going to do with like my daughters want all this stuff? I don't want to put them through that.
Yeah.
So I just started
I
uncollecting, decollecting, as I like to call it. I got to appreciate everything, and then any books I really wanted, I kept. And if I wanted, and thanks to Marvel and DC apps, I can read anything I want.
Yeah,
And
that's been the fun thing, that it's been nice to let go. I kind of let go during COVID, and kind of adopted what you said, just like decollect a lot of stuff. But now I'm just like, oh, I want all that stuff back, or I feel like I want the exact collection I collected from 1989 to 2000. I want that collection exactly, and then I want some archive stuff like Warlord, or
but
like like runs that I want, that
I
I'll
feel like
collect
that
over
stuff is
time.
worth collecting. Not
Hmm.
that new comics aren't worth collecting, but I feel like there's something special about those books, the paper, the nostalgia, everything
Hmm.
about that is important.
Yeah.
You pick up a Jim Lee X-Men 268, you remember what it's like the first time you read that book.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
hits you again. So
Right.
I understand that. But you pick up an Amazing Spider-Man 17 from 2 months ago, you're like, oh, it's cool. But there's nothing
Right.
different about reading that paper book compared to reading a comic on your computer. Because you and I, as much as we like that physical stuff, we're really about the content. We're about the story, the art. We
Hmm.
love that aspect of comics. That's always been more important to me than owning comics until this year again, where
Yeah.
I've probably spent 15 years decollecting, and now I'm like, I just want a couple things. And foil
Well,
covers hit me.
yeah.
Superman.
This next slide here is really the a problem. It's not a problem. Here's the thing: is that uh, you know, your friendship slash, collecting relationship with Liefeld coalesced with the last year, which he's put out these really cool holofoil, so it's really hard to not get that stuff. Uh,
Yes.
like
I
the
gotta
Last Stand stuff is where it kind of started, right? And then now it went into regular Youngblood reprints, the Youngblood foils that came out. What is that? That's the comic scene cover, is that right?
that's the comic scene. That has
Oh
been one of
boy.
my favorite comics of all time.
Yeah,
That
shit.
cover, Liefeld, first time I ever saw Youngblood.
It's
And
never been printed on anything else.
never
So
been
this is the
printed. It
first
was a
time.
poster. He
Mm,
made a
promo
promo
poster.
poster and the comic scene cover. So he went and had Juan Ma, who's an incredible
Mm,
colorist, color it up. I did break it down through some individual stuff to kind of work our way through it. So like Liefeld puts out Youngblood, and when he announces it, I'm like, well, that's fine. I'll just get it digitally because it looks good, double page spreads on my iMac computer. But then he does these New York covers. I'm like, well, these are really cool too, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I have a launch cover, and then I have a signed shaft cover that I bought on.
And then he does this manga edition. He did this for Last Blood, where these pages are they're separated in a way. There's no color, but it's all shades of gray. But this is by Seth DeMuse, who just it looked like a manga comic. And I'm like, that's really cool because now that gives a reason for people to buy. And the other thing about buying Image Comics is they're better. You buy a Marvel DC comic, you're not feeling like you're getting something. You're getting just paper. With
Right.
this, it's a heavier cardstock. The paper's nice. These two giant size Youngblood covers only available in San Diego. So there's like an exclusive club you're in by trying to dig this stuff up. He is going to mass produce this comic, but not until the summer, probably.
Right.
At,
Right.
at the very least, not till after Youngblood number 100. And here's something interesting. I was going through my stuff and I found a page from this, like a sketch page from this, like Liefeld doing layouts. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know I had this. And I look at it and I go, I saved this picture in 2011. He
That's
and I
funny.
and I brought it up to him like, hey, this is in my old folder for like 2011. He's like, yes, I've been working on this book since 2008. He goes, I got a bunch of stuff sketched out and I just been coalescing it, making stuff out of everything. There's a page in Youngblood number one that was going to be in his Echo 92 comic, which was like his
Hmm.
own Youngblood team he was doing. Like when he didn't have rights to Youngblood, he was going to do his own Echo, like his Squadron Supreme, his Watchmen, Echo 92, which is actually short for Echo Squadron 92. And I guess since he got Youngblood back, he's like, I guess I don't need to do that. This page is
Right.
really good.
Right.
Let me just recolor it to be Shaft. But
Well,
you don't know that when you read the story. Everything is so fluid.
I think the one thing with this is that, he's changed the game quite a bit. I mean, it's he was essentially in a way like shunned at one of the premieres, one of the Marvel premieres. Does that sound right?
Yeah, Deadpool, Wolverine, right?
Right. So that movie made $1 billion for Marvel Disney, and he was shunned in how he was handled, and him and his family were handled at the premiere. It's really easy to I feel just move those people around a little bit. That's it. But because, and again, I feel like ego is important with there wouldn't be an Image Comics if it wasn't for ego, right? If it wasn't for All Liefeld's ego. And
Yes.
that's great because again, how many artists, writers are we talking about now that have like blazed that trail set by him,
And
right?
people
At
forget
24.
Liefeld didn't invent ego. Go read any John Byrne interview. It's full of vitriol and
Read
just
Neil
hate.
Adams. Neil Adams is a fucking
Adams,
asshole.
right? Barry Windsor
I
Smith.
I dislike I dislike a lot of Neil Adams stuff because of his like vitriol at times. I
But
just I can't do it.
he got Siegel and Schuster paid.
I
So you're
understand that.
like,
Correct.
you're incredible. Neil Adams
Hmm.
is incredible. Try to form a comic artist union. That's incredible stuff, man.
Yeah.
He put everything on the line. But because
Windsor
he's a top
Smith,
talent,
a dick too. So
super dick. Windsor Smith thinks he's the best artist ever. He
right.
might not be wrong. He literally is one of the best comic artists ever.
Yeah.
But like he's picking apart like Kirby, he goes, oh, but I like,
Yeah.
but since he was friends with Herb Trimp, he's like, but Trimp's got something. Like,
Yeah, it's
like,
goofy. It's goofy stuff. But I think to kind of go back to that is like because of that, he essentially started this relationship via whatnot with his fans, with you and
mm,
me. Like just having this like online, just talking, whatnot and eBay Live and all these platforms that you're communicating with. But look, the books that are there, the launch book, the Youngblood 3 that I have that you gave me right before Christmas, like
right.
these are books he has printed that he's charging a premium for 15, $20 or more. But you get this book 6 months before it comes out, sometimes, maybe
Sometimes,
more.
sometimes more,
Uh,
sometimes, yeah.
we
You,
had Youngblood, what, like 8 months before we reviewed it, posted it. It's one of our bigger videos. Like having that relationship and then having that revenue stream for him just got him more excited to do stuff. And that excitement just, I don't know, is this the most productive he's ever been? Like, this is crazy.
he's always been good for 6 to 8 issues a year. But this
Hmm.
year is even more. I mean, look at these cards. I don't collect cards anymore. I've been selling my cards. But
Yeah.
I worked my butt off, and thanks to Brian Milligan, who really helped me out, and this other guy, James Long on the page. Like Brian went to 2 stores to help get me all the cards because I was at work.
Yeah.
You
You have
know,
to work.
hey, look at them cool Maniacs cards, huh? They're really.
Yeah, but that's the two variant ones,
That's right.
those
There's
round
this
corners.
and the square corner.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. But you get these premium, and again, that's the thing is like you have your favorite artist, right? Your favorite creator, I imagine, right? Um, uh, and they're putting out the foil. So this kind of like just this is just gasoline, bro. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the holofoil covers.
That
I
being
just love
said,
them.
you turn a lot of your own stuff. Like you're like, wow, this isn't important to me. This is the one thing I think that you've kind of taught me as a friend slash collector, as a slash D collector, is like, hey, I have a lot of stuff I might not care about anymore. Let me just convert that to like I eventually want to get all of the Conan omnibuses, right? Well, they're all the Marvel ones are out of print because they don't have it anymore. And those covers, Titan can't have them. They're not allowed to have those covers. They can print what's on the cover in the issue in the actual Titan reprints, but you can't buy them for less than usually 100, 150, right? I can
Right.
get a new Titan one, but I don't want it. I want at least the first 6 or 7 Marvel ones. Well, how do I do that? Well, I have a bunch of doubles that I got, or I have like this set, so I'll start to sell that stuff and try to keep it in my eBay and like do that. So a lot of this stuff like that you're getting, you might buy an extra copy or two, sell that, it'll
Yeah.
fuel the
What's
next one.
here's the secret.
Mhm.
People don't know about whatnot. It's crazy. You think everyone knows what you know, but people don't. So when the new Youngblood comes out, Youngblood number 3, we got it a month and a half before Youngblood 3 even comes out. So get a copy for you. I get a copy for a buddy of mine over in England, who has trouble getting stuff shipped to him. Whatnot doesn't ship internationally, maybe.
Right.
And then I grab a copy or two for eBay, and I charge like 40, $50 for it because people on eBay aren't on Whatnot. So to them, they're eBay exclusive. Just like if I sold it on Amazon, I'd probably make money too.
Exclusive.
But
Yeah.
I do hate Amazon, so I don't even bother with that. But I could. There's no, you know what I mean, direct to consumer Youngbloods on Amazon as far as I know. But if I
Right.
did, I'd make money. It's funny that like Liefeld and Dave are just Dave Hong is the guy who works with Liefeld.
That, oh
I know, I love this stuff too.
God. Oh,
But yeah, so people are
shit.
just on eBay, they're not going on whatnot. So,
Yeah, this is
and
tough, man.
that's how I pay
That's
for
a
this stuff.
tough one. Damn it. Yeah, but again, that's what you mean. Like that's like just having, you know, just oh, and that's your
And
treasury, right? That's right.
Treasury, I love it. I love this
Yeah, it's
Treasury.
dope.
I was not like this is all. It was funny. I don't even want the regular Youngblood comic. I still have it because I had to buy five to get all the cards. But
Mm.
like, just give me the foils, give me the Treasury, give me this manga, give me this. It's so cool to get all these different variations of the
And that's a
books.
one
That's the second
second
print of
print
number one.
foil
Yes.
only whatnot, correct? Is
Yes.
that
They
right?
tried to do that more flat like colors. They tried to make the colors like New Mutants 98.
Closest to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
There's not all the shading and banding that we got in later 90s comics.
Yeah, again, and I think that's where I think like you said, like I think the digital stuff is like it reverses back, you know. Like I was reading like all the we'll get to Conan next, of course, but like I read the final boss, you know, and then the same thing. Like he has a lot of Tyler Kirkham has a lot of direct to consumer, so you go on his website, he has special covers, he can sign something, he can sketch something, so he has a separate version of this that he can sell himself through, you know, his website, through Instagram. But that was a book that I really enjoyed digitally, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta go get that. You know what I mean? I want to have that because that feels so much like a 90. It feels so much like a Top Cow book. It feels so much like, you know, like playing Sega Genesis and playing like Street Fighter 2. Like it just is crazy
Yeah.
how much fun I had with that book. And I'm like, man, you know, like I really need to own that now. Now I want to have it. Like you said, the special editions, the different things. Like I want the cover A's, but if I don't know if you saw the cover ABC, the Silvestri variant, it's J. Lee variant. God damn it. Like
Yeah, they're
then
great.
there's foil variants and there's sketches, and it's like, God. So like there's an Otley cover, there's a
See,
blood Otley cover.
that's a case where like
Yay, yay, yay.
I will read that digitally, and if it escalates to me like if I love it as much as you love it, well then I might get the hardcover,
Yeah.
because then
Yeah.
I get all the covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
very
Well,
interesting.
Youngblood for you this year, was that the biggest thing for you, you
I
believe?
think
You
I'm
think
just
that's
it's
just exciting.
just exciting. Yeah, it's cool because I've always loved those characters, and I just always wanted to see more done with them. And I
Yeah.
think he's utilizing everything that he has to make this book the best it could be. Every issue is like 28, 30 pages. Like
Right.
he's bringing everything he's got to this book.
Right. 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 Yeah. And my big book this year, of course, has been, you know, it's been a Conan in general. Yes. However, pound for pound, Savage Sword of Conan is completely insane. Like just like page for page, 6.99, black and white. This issue, of course, the Magnolia cover, which was done for like the estate years ago for something. He said he did three covers. Two of them have been printed. There's a third one. We don't know what it is. I think, well, Jim Zub knows what it is. I asked him about it because
Yeah,
I knew this is from that cover is from 5 or 6 years ago before Titan had it. Magnolia didn't even know this was coming out, you know. So anyway, but Jim's upset that there is a third, but he can't say what it is. So that's an eventual. There's a Zafino. But every single issue of Savage Sword of Conan from Titan has it's 6.99. There's usually one or two main stories. There's three pinups. There might be a poem, like an epic poem in there with some sketches. Delator is kind of your main new artist to kind of restart Conan. This was him bringing back Sailor Steve Costigan. This was all part of the Scourge and the Serpent crossover. So all these even little tales that are like strewn throughout the issues, the issues of Conan that are going to working up to the main event. You can read by itself if you want to, but it doesn't, or it can read on its own. This story kind of is loosely. There's a ring that is going to be used in the Scourge of the Serpent miniseries that the dog eats in this by accident. But even like Delator just kind of really flexing his muscles here, muscles. Like look at how I know I'm obsessed with this panel. I know we talked about when we reviewed it, but like look at that face. Like that's
yeah.
it's
It's
like
so
Eisner.
Buscema.
It's yeah, it's Buscema. It's Kubert, like Joe Kubert. It's crazy just how much this was like
It's
how exciting this is. You know.
when we got into comics, we Buscema was doing Wolverine in
Mhm.
Madripoor, so we got so used to that. So when I see this, I think of Buscema's Madripoor, which is just
Right.
a modern take on Buscema's Conan in any town in
Right. But when I was a
Hyperborea
kid,
or
I didn't
whatever.
understand Buscema, I was like, this is boring. Like I was like, I don't want this. Like,
Oh
because
yeah,
we would get pinups of like a McFarlane face,
right. We
like
got
Jim Lee pinups, and so we're like, I don't want Buscema in tears. They're like a Gene Colan issue. I think an issue of Wolverine, which at the time, like, fuck this guy. Gene Colan sucks. And now I'm like,
I
oh
know.
my God, look at how beautiful the blacks are
Look
in
how
this. Like,
amazing everything he drew.
ah, look at all the
But like
shading.
no, but comics were being bought by 13-year-olds, and that's what we wanted. We wanted our Jim Lees and Sam Keats and Liefelds and Larsons and with John Byrne. We were still excited by John Byrne stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and to kind of close out like my year, and this is kind of going to like last year's Baltimore and this year's New York, is that this is Liam Sharp's like comeback year in a way. Like he's always been around, but this was a story that I knew he did probably 3 to 5 years ago. Just kind of like worked on it. It was floating around like the license for the Robert E. Howard stuff. I don't know if it was ever pitched at Marvel. I don't know the whole story on this, but this was a story that he did do in Savage Sword of Conan 8 or 9. But this is a couple years ago. I've seen some of this art on his Substack. But really, what it came to is when he did 11. This was this was insane. Like the jump in which he progressed. Uh, this was like 50 pages long. It's crazy. Just all the design. The story was like this huge epic concepted story. You have like, I mean, every layer, page design, setting, close up, like just every single thing. And then, which is funny because like I have a print that I got from him last year, which is this. Now this is actually from Spawn Dark Ages. I don't know when that was started. Same thing. It would be that's on my bucket list to see if possible this year. One of my wish lists is I'd really like to see if I can do similar to the Tom Scioli interview. I want to do like a Liam Sharp A to Z. First print, Death's Head to now. Like, how did this? So I have a print of this on my wall right there, which I know at the bottom it says Spawn. I thought it was a Conan drawing, right? And at the
Yeah,
bottom it just
yeah,
says Spawn Dark Ages, and I'm like, or copyright McFarlane. I'm like, what? And I framed it. It's over there. You know what I mean? So it's kind of funny. But then he does this. This is going to be 6 issues. Okay, but he did Spawn Dark Ages a million years ago, 20 years ago. So, but this is now his like new style, and I don't know who's coloring this, but man, oh man, look
yeah. It
at
looks
that.
really good.
Holy
It's
mackerel.
someone who really understands the job. Because
Yeah,
I've said I was real excited for him and Morrison to do Green Lantern. There's some really good stuff in that, but it just gets too murky.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not edited enough.
Yeah, he's got a couple different styles, and he did do and this is a book that he put out. I would like him to put out like this like every year. This is basically like there's a center spread in that's on the cover here that's colored that in this issue is in black and white. So I mean, it would be nice if they did almost like another issue of the issue 11 of Savage Sword and just put it out in color, like this coloring. I don't know, but he has apparently he has a great working relationship with Titan now, and there's another story that he's working on at his leisure. Great. Titan is just doing a really wonderful job. They have two different versions of things, so meaning you could buy the storyline trades for Conan, or they just put out a deluxe edition, which is slightly oversized with extras in the back. So uh, they're really doing a nice job. They're doing a Conan the Adventurer reprint this year, which is for the first time. It's all Raphael Conan art. That's next year. It's like $60 hardcover. Great. They're going to do like a classic coloring. The honorable mention is that they're doing Savage Sword of Conan Reforged, which is taking old Savage Sword of Conan stories, and then this Italian company is recoloring them, and they're doing nice flat coloring. It's really really wonderful. But I think that if we have to crown something, and we didn't really talk about this, I think if we have to crown a book of the year for our podcast, the only thing we've ever talked about as like if we had, basically John said he'd give me a spot in his store, NJ free plug, uh, that like we can put like our pick, like Awestruck Comics podcast pick.
Right.
I think we would both agree that this is the best book of the year. This is the best book. Every issue is a bit different. I don't know how. This is the sort of crisis events from Image. There's been 7 issues so far. The first 6 are in a trade right now. So, yeah, I might ask John to order that for the shelf, and maybe we could do a little shelf talker or something in that. But This team is really insane, and even shout out to Tom Muller who does the design of this. He worked on a couple different books that I've always thought looked very specific. That Image had previously. But yeah, this is a an all-star. Jordy Belair could be like as an extra. I mean, again, Jordy Belair is our favorite colorist here, does wonderful work in G.I. Joe, doing
Right.
similar
Beautiful.
shading things here. Um,
I
but
did not
Dennis
expect
Camp
the
writer,
Dennis
and
Camp was,
Erskine.
yeah. I was saying, like, I didn't expect to love this book as much as I did. I read the first issue. I'm like, oh, that's really good. This is really like in depth. But I didn't know it was kind of a pseudo anthology. And I read the
Yeah,
second issue. I'm like, oh, this isn't. Oh, okay, this is good. Then the third issue, you're like, holy crap, is every issue getting better?
I
It
think
just amazed me.
everything. Yeah, I think everything is. I mean, the basic premises is, and I think that this is what we try to celebrate here on the show is that this really can only be in concepted comic book form. Like everything we try to like look at and pick is, for a while there, unfortunately, post like Bendis, Marvel, deconstruct a lot of Warren Ellis stuff. It's like let's write for a TV show pilot. Like it felt like that. It read like that. It was decompressed. It's like I don't want to
Right.
read that. I want to read comic books. So, we're gigantic Crisis on Infinite Earths. And again, Marvel's whole concept now is multiverse. Well, that's all Crisis on Infinite. Like it's like
Yeah.
everything. This entire movie is going to come out next year. Most of the movies that came out the last 5 years are all about Spider-Verse, multiverse, incursions, da, da, da. Like these are all words that are not in the lexicon of the world, not in pop culture lexicon. Now they are. Uh, but this just kind of explaining this here, an ongoing zigzagging anthology series about the compromised cliques of our yeah, full of one-shot stories, beautiful and ugly, tragic and redemptive, surreal, and somehow all too familiar. But this is just reality of just worlds crashing
Yes.
all the time, and almost a bit like Marvels because again, now we're going to get like the first issue.
Well,
It's all just ground level people. What's happening to
it's
people? Not heroes.
it's
This isn't
more
heroes. This is just stuff that's
specific.
happening.
It's funny you bring up Marvels, but more specific, Astro City One Half.
Right.
Astro City One Half is probably very inspirational for this book.
Mm.
Because that's the result of a crisis, and a guy loses his wife when the world resets. The world resets, and she never existed, but he dreams about her, and he thinks about her, but she never existed now because the superheroes changed reality. And it's a heartbreaking story. When you put yourself into it, it's amazing. He followed it up like towards the end of Astro City. By the way, where's Astro City? Wasn't he working on original trades,
I thought so, but I don't know.
original graphic novels?
Yeah, I'm not sure but I do know that when he was doing his like towards the end, it got a lot of extra artists. It used to just be Brent Anderson, and then a lot of extra,
Right.
and they're all like very specific artists doing certain things. So again, I'm not
Like
complaining at all.
he did bring in Tom Grummett, which probably
Yeah,
caused Section Zero to be even later.
listen, I know, but
So
gotta get
that
paid.
Astro City One Half is phenomenal. I forget the name of the title, but this comic is a little bit like that. And you're heartbroken in issues. I actually haven't read issue 7 yet because
Yeah, I
I don't know.
haven't either.
I just want to like save it. I don't know. Certain books become super precious. There are books that when they come out, I have to read them right away. And then there's books where I'm like, well, I really want the house to be quiet and dark so I can get out my iPad and no one's around and the kids, you know what I mean? Like you want to create a moment to read that book,
Right, right.
you know.
I think three was my is this is my favorite, which is basically just like the cover is showing. Like there's the two different realities. One's doing fine. It's almost like a tale of two cities, right? But
It's
Eric, well, I would say this
and it's
ties.
a
I don't know. But then you go from like page to page, and they're all the same pages, but how it differs in the reality. And then I think
right.
the people switch at one point, and then the
They
families are,
it becomes like an immigrant
oh,
story where the people on the shitty Earth go to the good Earth,
yeah.
and then the people of the good Earth like hate the people because they're the same as them. It's like, well, I'm rich here, but I'm poor there. Oh, now we got to what give you some of our food. It's like,
And then
oh
the
my,
kids are sneaking the other kids' food,
right,
right?
because
And
kids
getting
don't
in
care.
trouble. Right, exactly. Because kids are trying to,
But in one world, the guy's wife dies, but in another world, like she's with someone else, and he's like,
yeah.
no, my wife's dead. It's like, holy, it's so
Oh, that's hard.
much.
Yeah, it's tough. That was that. I forgot about that. Again, that's the thing. The thing that Dennis Camp is doing is he doesn't have like most comic books have like one idea. Here's 22 pages, right? 757. Like
Yeah. Uh-huh.
that's it. Um, this it has like 10 ideas per issue.
Yes.
This one, see, I think this one's probably my favorite one because
Do you?
again, here. And again, like that, listen, it's kind of
Heartbreaking.
wonderful that we are fighting about, not fighting, but like we're disagreeing, like, well, that's my favorite one. No, no, that's my favorite one. This one, basically, she's trying to, this is almost like, I wonder if this could be possibly semi-autobiographical, because again, this is more of like an Alzheimer type of situation where
Right.
her husband is different ages every couple minutes. Like, I don't know how, I don't remember the frequency of it, but it's pretty rough. Could be a
It's
little kid,
it's
doesn't
it's
know who you
probably
are.
like it's probably like hours. It's not minutes. Like, oh, he's
Ugh,
my husband for a night. Oh, he's a
right.
kid for a whole day. I got to take him to school or a what, and now he's old. There's a this is it reminds me a little bit of an Alan Moore story from 2000 AD, where it's the simple yet genius concept of it's a guy who's like dead on the ground, and then he wakes up. He's like, oh, my heart's hurting. Oh, now I feel fine. And he just goes through his life backwards. There's this old woman, and now she's getting a little younger. I feel a little stronger towards her.
Mm.
And it's just like it's an amazing and then I love this woman even more. And now I don't know her because he hasn't met her yet. Like it's just his life in reverse. And it's incredible. And not that it just reminds me of this. It's a little piece. I always want to take that Alan Moore story. I'm like, there's more to that. Like it's a
Right,
short
right.
8-page story and it's freaking genius, you know?
Yeah,
And I get a little piece of that in this.
yeah, I think the thing where I think that, Eric Zawiski is working with here, I'm sure I'm butchering his name, I'm sorry, is that, yeah, just these different story elements. So he has like a full brochure here. He had, they were playing board games. They have, they're doing puzzles. Like, it's just like, and now we're doing
You
this maze. Like, it's unbelievable.
you can't do this as a show. Even if you
No,
took out
yeah,
all the fun stuff, you it would still be a it'd still be a good Twilight Zone episode, but it wouldn't be genius episode of Twilight Zone.
yeah. It's just there's so much going on in it, but I really feel like this is like, I know they used to say, like, well, you give someone Sandman Volume One, like that's your gateway, or you give them Watchmen. Like, you're not, that those are bad books to give to people. Like, like
There
first.
you because you don't appreciate them. You read look at hey watch you never watched the show before watch Citizen Kane and then
Right, right.
like you
Oh, to
don't
ease
appreciate
into it, maybe watch like the Philadelphia Story. Watch something a little bit later. Like, watch something, and then
don't
eventually get to that.
you don't
Correct.
appreciate Watchmen like you and I can fully appreciate Watchmen because hey maybe we've read a little Charlton stuff before. We were
Right.
young when we read Watch. I was like 13 or 14. So even
Yeah, I thought
then
it
I
was
knew it
ugly.
was
I thought it
genius.
was ugly. I thought the artwork was
Uh
ugly, and then
I thought
garish.
I
I don't
thought the
know
artwork
why.
was boring, but the story was just so amazing at 13.
Yeah,
So
I didn't
amazing.
want it. I didn't want it. Give me
Now,
pages in the back. Get out of here. But yeah,
yeah,
but if we have to crown something, I would say like pushing the medium forward, everyone working at the top of their game. San Atlau, like the lettering, the coloring is always wonderful and fantastic, and always kind of playing around with certain things too, just with like a lot of the different, just a lot of different pieces. I don't know how you do this, by the way. I don't know how you Photoshop that, or I'm going to make these this color. I don't know if that's hard. I'm not sure, but it really is effective when it's used well. It's done a lot in GI Joe, which I think is very, very effective. But yeah, I would say that hands down, when I worked at the shop, we would give people money back guarantees. This would be something I would just put in people's hands, man. I'd say, hey,
yes,
you should read that. And I think it's pretty effective. I think the trades right now are in a good space. I think the absolute Batman trades are doing insane. People just handing them out.
yeah.
This I believe
That's
is going
another
up as well. I think that that's
yes,
correct on this. I believe that the sales on this monthly are going up, which is pretty fun.
right.
You
We
know,
just to kind of tie it in, Dennis Camp. We've been big fans of his Ultimates, even
Mhm.
more so than Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man. Dennis Camp
He should have
recently
just had
became
the line. They should have gave him the line, but
isn't he
Marvel's too
won me
nervous to
over.
do that.
His short story in the Ultimate preview book, I'm like, oh, this might really be good. He just knows it. And in my hope of worlds colliding, Dennis Camp became friends with Liefeld at
Mm,
like New York Comic Con. And Liefeld's
right,
like, oh,
right.
I'm gonna go read all his stuff. I like this guy.
Was
I'm
Dennis Camp
like,
at New York Comic Con? Did I just miss him? Did I not see him?
oh, maybe it was San Diego.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't think he
San
was at
Diego.
New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. San Diego. They became friends. They were at a dinner together, and uh, or was he talked about? Maybe he talked about that V Friends thing too, or
Yeah, the
maybe it
V
was New
Friends.
York. Anyway, regardless, they became friends, and I'm like, oh man, Dennis Camp is the guy to do Supreme.
Mm,
Like,
right.
if you were to get like, other than me, of course, like he would be the guy. He'd be
Right.
the guy that would write a book that like I would want to read.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
2025. 2025
it's
wrapped
over.
up.
It's over,
We did it.
Johnny.
We did it again. It's over, Johnny. Nothing is over. It's a good reference there. See who gets that.
So
No one. Um, but yeah, so I mean, the good thing is that we're just in it. This is the podcast itself having, I don't know, it's 120 episodes. I don't know. It's like it's pretty cool that we've kind of committed to it, and now it's easy. There's very minimal prep work that we do. I'm sure it's that seen sometimes, um, but I feel like I think no matter what, the things that we gravitate towards on as far as like YouTube, Instagram, is people being passionate about stuff. I don't care. I watch episodes about VFX artists react. Okay, I'm not going to go in that industry, but those guys love it. They take it apart. They're passionate about it. I'm watching it. You know what I mean? I'm watching that
yeah,
more
we
than
want
almost
to we want to
watching
watch that
shows. I'm watching Red
Fisey
Letter Media
Giffen. We
criticize
want
movies I'll probably never see. Okay.
right,
You know what
right.
I mean? Like it's a very interesting world. And again, what's going to YouTube? Oscars, right? So like everything is YouTube. Everything eventually probably will just be YouTube, maybe.
And that's where we are.
That's where we are, baby.
Although
Like,
we,
comment,
we could
subscribe, give it to
we
your
could
mom,
easily
grandma.
put this on Spotify.
Yeah, we're
They
this
just they
this
take
episode's
videos now.
going in. This is going to be the first, well, the second, well, one episode's up there. Episode one's up. I'll put that on
Episode 1 and then episode
episode
120.
one, episode 125, whatever it says. So, but yeah, that's it. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, put in things that you want us to talk about. Books that we may or may not have read or want to like check out. We're always looking to figure out,
It's
what we
true.
want to
The
read.
Awestruck comic show, though 90% news, inspire, it's what we want to be as news, but like we love the history. We love talking about
Yeah,
stuff. We even will throw in a book or two to review since we kind of stopped doing the review show. Um, I think it just works out better time wise.
yeah.
So, and I'm glad the fact that, I managed to be off today. It's New Year's Day for recording this.
Whoa, it's gonna be out
So,
New Year's Day. You'll
great,
see.
great. We'll see.
You'll see. It's
All
gonna
right.
happen. It's gonna
So,
happen. So we'll see
so
everyone on the next news show. Thank you so much. It's been a great 2025 year. Looking forward to 2026. See what's happening. Lots of things coming out. We'll be there to cover it. Check it out. News, solicits, all that stuff. Thank y'all, and we'll see
and
y'all very
stay
soon.
awestruck. Is that
Stay,
dumb? That's dumb.
yeah,
Stay awestruck.
we're leaving it. Stay awestruck. Say struck.
Struck.
We'll work.